Hi, everybody. This is If Yarn Could Talk with Vicki and Aja. And this week we have a special guest, Ellen.
Yay!
Ellen is one of our favoriteest people in the whole world.
It's true.
And she's also the mistress of ceremonies of our 10-row challenge. So she is in charge.
Well.
And that's about
And that's how it works.
She's badass. I bet you can tell.
We've had a lot of participants this year, and they are doing some amazing work, like sweaters and big stuff. So I'm very impressed with everybody.
Yeah.
It's been really great.
What do you think the most common project about it going is?
Well,
You're doing a lot of socks, right?
Yes, I'm doing socks. There's one girl who is doing all scarves. It's very impressive. She's looks like she's almost done, and they're thinner scarves. And we have some people who are doing sweaters, baby stuff. It's kind of all over the place. It's kind of all over the place, but it's been really fun to watch. And they are really happy with how much they're getting done. You know, they're forcing themselves to get it done.
It's really shocking that first time. I think people get used to it after that. They're like, oh, yeah, I do churn through stuff when I actually just do it every day.
Yeah, and it's good for your soul, too. You know, this time of year, everybody's so hectic. You need to sit down and do something meditative, like knitting or crocheting.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are you making over there, Aja?
I'm making slippers.
Slippers! That's a great idea. Cold feet.
Really, really big slippers.
She'll have them done by the end of the podcast.
Yeah.
You could make little cat slippers.
Well, you know, he has very big paws, so, you know, they might even take me longer than the podcast. His paws are enormous.
Enormous. What are you making, Ellen?
I am working on a pair of socks. Island yarn hand dye, and they're you don't have to think. In other words, the pattern just happens on its own, and then you get this lovely design.
Those are our blip dyes.
These are the blip dye switch, yeah.
I hate to tell you guys who are not local, but you have to come in here to get it because it just wouldn't photograph right. So I never put it online because every time I tried to photograph it, I just couldn't get the blips to show. So you're just going to have to come in here and fondle it in person, which is a really fun time.
That is a really fun time.
It's the best way.
Yeah. I find I'm doing a lot of socks when I go to the doctor or stuff like that. Just something little that I can bring with me. And
socks are the best.
Yeah,
project.
they're really great for that. So yeah, I've finished one pair. This is a second pair for a husband and wife couple. His are done. Hers are going to be smaller. Obviously.
I hope they don't watch the podcast and get a clue.
I hope not too. Their surprise it'll be broken.
Everybody watches our podcast.
I know. Everyone in New England.
Yeah.
Especially non-knitters.
Yeah, especially non-knitters. You know, there are a couple non-knitters, though. It's hilarious.
I don't know any.
No. It must be a nice life.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, you know, you pays your money and you takes your choice. My choice is the knitters. Well, so
are you going to still love Aja even though she's becoming more of a crocheter?
Yes, of course.
Okay,
I love crocheting.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with
Crocheters
crocheting.
are good too.
Yes, absolutely.
Crocheters unite.
Yes, exactly. It's a different, some people say that they really, they can't do one or the other. And I say, that's crazy. Of course you can, but I learned to knit and crochet, I think, at the same time. Oh. So it never occurred to me that there was a difference between the two. It's just a different equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always think it's sort of like people who are very linearly minded gravitate more towards knitting, like when we've taught it in classes, and people who are a little more chaotic.
Why'd you look at me when you said that?
What she meant to say
crocheting.
Was creative.
I mean, everybody who does it is creative, but no, people who just don't. I mean, have you ever had a conversation with Aja? It's a delight of tangents. It's so fun, and we never know where we're going to land. And crochet can be like that too, right? Like you can put that hook in anywhere and just pull up a loop.
That's
and
very true.
Mhm.
It's not necessarily linear. It's like
Right.
you're having a conversation with your crochet, and all of a sudden you remember a story about the cats.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden that reminds you about a thing you saw on somebody else's podcast or yeah. It's just not as linear.
Crocheting
Like
is a
knitting
little
is
bit,
you knit
yeah.
these stitches that are on the needle. Crochet is like you can do whatever you want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a free-for-all kind of thing. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Good for us ADHD folk.
Yeah.
Because, like, when I was knitting, you know, I have knitting. Like, I have a project that's, like, in my room. I was making, like, headbands for Christmas last year. And I tried to make a few of them, and they weren't coming out great, so I kind of abandoned them. But what was always terrifying to me was that you could lose. Like, I would have to, like, go back and, like, count everything. If I lost, like, a single stitch off the needle, I was like, ugh! And crochet, I can just be like, put it down. Don't worry too much.
Yeah. If you lose anything, you're gonna lose like one stitch, right?
Yeah,
Not
it's
like,
gonna be a lot harder to pull out your stitches in crochet.
it's
But
not like a whole pillar is gonna disintegrate.
yeah, so good for people that are like, wait!
Just like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the problem though I found with crochet, because you know I might have a couple projects, and it's a lot easier.
Like maybe this one that she's doing right now.
It's a lot easier to steal the crochet hook out of a project because you start something else and then trying to remember what hook you were using. Like you can't steal the needles out of something unless you put in some effort.
Right.
But the crochet hook. So I have several times like gone back to a crochet project and been like, I'm pretty sure this is it. And then going along, I'm like, this is totally not it. It's like 3 times as big now.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Whoops. I mean, I guess the monogamous crafters don't have that problem, but I also don't know any of them. Do you know
Me
any of
neither.
them? Yeah.
None.
Nope. Not a chance.
And if I used to know them, they're no longer my friends.
Just
You can't sit with
if
us.
you're hoping to be friends with Ellen, these are the parameters. You need to be a knitter, crocheter, and you need to have many, many, many projects. And you do want to be friends with Ellen. So
I
you know.
just don't. I mean, it's got to be a thing. I just can't imagine only having one project at a time. That's so like boxing yourself in.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that.
I know, and there's always a part of it that you hate. Like there just is, no matter how much you love knitting or crocheting, there's a part
Like
of
the
the
heel.
project. The heel, yeah.
The
I actually
sleeves.
love the heel, but you know, it's not the job for most of you. So you want to enjoy it. So you want to have something you can bounce to when you're just not in the place to like buckle down and do the sleeve or the thumb.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta enjoy it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm now crocheting some leg warmers for Halloween. I was doing those arm warmers for the Ren Fair, but now I'm doing some leg warmers. And what I've done is, because there's 2 of them, because I have 2 legs.
You do? Wow.
Good.
I do.
That's like a medical marvel.
I decided that I was going to be good and actually do them both at the same time. Not at the same time, but like I did a strip and then I did the strip on the other one and then I would. So I've just been going like, boop,
She saved
boop,
yourself
boop,
from
boop, boop,
second
boop, boop.
whatever syndrome.
Yeah, because that did happen with those arm warmers and they did come out a little uneven because of it. So
Oh yeah.
I mean,
You
I
know.
also think those might have been that way because, like, you were still sort of getting your bearings a little bit on the first one. I think you just kind of relaxed into it, maybe.
Oh no, the second one was shaped way weirder.
Oh.
It just was skinnier because I ran out of time.
Oh. This is fine. It's the right length.
What was so annoying is that one fit me better, and even like the wonky parts of it made it so it was a curve, so it like fit on my elbow, and I was like, how do I recreate this? I don't know how
You
this
did
is
it on
gonna-
purpose and didn't even know it.
Exactly. That's what I did.
I was just demonstrating my nice yellow notice
Oh, yeah.
kerchief in honor of last week's podcast that was all about yellow and orange.
True. I did put a greeny yellow blanket here. This is a new yarn. So I figured I'd show our new yarn. This is Lansden Ord Cash Silk Light.
Oh.
And this is like, you know, if you want to use mohair, but it makes you itchy, this is...
Yeah.
Hello.
Look, it's yellow. And I brought it out so that you would have somebody who would say something nice about yellow.
That's very soft. Yeah, I love that.
Ooh.
That's great.
But I also, you know, for me and Asia, brought out a purple.
Woohoo!
I like
Let's
purple.
go.
The shawl
know,
I'm
yeah,
wearing
look at
has
that.
I know,
purple
matches
in it,
perfectly.
And this is a perfect representation of putting some like colors together,
Yes.
like purples and yellows. They go
Not
good.
sure. But this is almost a fingering yarn, isn't it? It's
yeah,
very,
this
very
is
fine.
like, you know, the fine mohairs that you like hold with stuff or that you do
Yeah.
really light, lofty stuff
right.
with.
Yeah, very pretty.
Like this, actually.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
like that
beautiful.
kind of
I
thing
love
you
that.
could do with that.
This is such a pretty pattern too. What I like about yellow and the orange and those colors is that they're lighter and it's easier for me to see when I'm knitting. It's all about me, actually. It really, even though I love the richer jewel tones, like you call them, I think they're just gorgeous. But then you have to have a light and you have to get your glasses, you know, and so you have to be prepared. So, like, I brought these socks, which are very light, and they're very easy to knit no matter where I am, because the lighting isn't always good, you know, the doctor's office or whatever. But I love these jewel tone colors.
Well, I
They're
think it's
beautiful.
also possible that you're just a more sunshiny personality, and maybe that sort of is why you like yellows and sunshiny colors more, and me and Asia are like...
And mostly black.
Yeah, we're like dark, deep, you know, we'd rather live in a swamp.
I don't think so.
See, she's nodding. She's so happy about that.
If I could just be like immune to mosquitoes and like bug bites, throw me in a swamp.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Be good.
Yeah.
Swamps are pretty.
Swamps are pretty. So I have another yarn that isn't new, but like I don't feel like a lot of people have seen it, and it's another nice transition from yellow to green. It actually does transition in the yarn from yellow to green.
Yeah, that's really pretty. I
And
think
this-
I have one of those.
Yeah,
at
this
home,
is Lansden
actually.
Ord watercolor sock, and Ellen knit some nice socks out of it. And
Yeah,
the
they're
cool-
really good.
The cool thing about this is that, you know, like most sock yarns, there's two socks in here. And hidden deep in here, there's a yard of like undyed yarn. So if you want your socks to totally match, you just start knitting here, and then when you're done, you wind off until that yard is gone. You start knitting again, and again, your socks will perfectly match, which I don't tend to care too much about because they're socks, but some people really need
Yeah.
their socks to match.
Well, and you know, if it's a gift, you want it to look like you thought about it for 2 seconds.
Right,
You
yeah.
know, I've tried this before, and I think it was a very deep purple. I thought
It was, purpley, bluey,
yeah,
black.
yeah, very, very dark. And so I loved it for that reason, but it was very hard for me to knit because it was such dark. Like I said, I like the lighter colors. I think maybe I need more lights in my house. But anyway, they came out beautiful.
So, Ellen, what's your favorite yarn in the whole store?
Oh my goodness. Well,
loaded
of
question.
course.
I know.
I know.
She's not going to be able to choose one, but...
I'm going to start because I just have fallen in love with Kraken. I love Kraken. It is so soft and it is so much fun to knit with. And it's, I usually like fingering yarn. And I love the fingering yarns that she has. And I love holding like the mohair with the fingering yarn and all that. But it's so nice because it works up so quickly. You know, usually the things I make are little tiny, tiny things on tiny, tiny needles, and it takes longer. But this is so beautiful. I cannot wait to make a sweater. In fact, I think I've hidden some of the mulberry so that she can't sell it to anyone else because I want to make a sweater of that. But that's going to be a selfish project after the holidays.
After the holidays.
So for right now, this is my favorite yarn. I mean, when she showed it on when she was first dyeing it, and she showed a picture of it, I was like, I immediately came down.
Ellen was the first one
I
to
was
get
the first
some,
one.
and the first one to finish a project.
Yeah,
Your
it was
little baby
just
sweater
it was a
the
baby
first thing.
sweater, and it was perfect. It just came out so
It
great.
was
So
so
I was really
cute.
happy about that. As far as my other favorite yarns in the store, oof. I really like everything that Vicki does herself, the designer stuff. obviously I
It'll
love
make me blush.
Well, obviously I love the cashmere. Who doesn't love the cashmere? You know, I mean, that's just wonderful soft yarn. But her other yarns that are not the worsted weight, they're a little bit thinner. I like to use those for a lot of different things because I like the smaller needles.
She does. She loves her smaller needles.
Yeah, I do.
I do
really,
a pattern and it's on
Not
10.
like this.
She's like, could I do it on 6s?
Yeah, I'm really bad about it. In fact, those
Not like that.
patterns.
Not like that. That's not Ellen's gauge there.
No,
No.
Although crocheting is a little bit different. I have to say it. I don't mind crocheting with a large hook, but the needles, they're little tiny needles. I don't know what that is, but anyway, yeah. So above a 6, I'm just not into it anymore. An 8, maybe. So the holiday patterns, I'm gonna have to go down a size. I'm really sorry. That's the way it's gonna be.
Well, I thought you were going to do the crochet one.
Oh, that's right. I am. That's a K. That's still pretty big though. K.
Yeah, but you don't mind with crochet.
I don't.
So you
I don't
say.
mind crochet. Yeah.
She's talking about our advent boxes. This is just the briefest
Yes.
little plug for them.
Yes.
They're going really fast. The jewel tones are almost sold out. So
Yeah.
if you want one, order it now.
Order it now, and it's the
Order it
best
now.
thing for this time of year because the days start to get shorter, and we all get
So
a little...
fast. They get shorter so fast.
Yeah, they do, and then all of a sudden it's dark, and it's like, oh. So yeah, you need a little light, a lift for yourself,
Yeah.
and since I never do more than one project at a time.
Oh, never. Never.
The Advent thing is really good for me.
Yeah, that's really fun.
It's really fun.
Yeah, Asia'll put it in the... She'll link it like she always does. She's good like that.
Down there.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. And wait, we should tell you what this is really quick. This is our Love from Afar baby blanket. And the cool thing about this is you guys can see that there's hearts, but when it's straight on, it just looks like a straight blanket, a striped blanket.
Yeah, you can't even see it. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
it's shadow knitting. It's really very easy.
It's
Even beginners
very
can do it.
Cool.
But it's nice because I don't always like hearts in knitting. I find it a little overly sweet, but I really like this because it's like a secret. It's like only the baby knows you love him.
That's right. And I really like this because Vicki designed this during COVID, and of course we couldn't see each other. So I think a lot of people.
Remembered that.
Well, to me it was so touching because a lot of people were having grandchildren and they couldn't even
Yeah.
see them. That was so heartbreaking to me. I'm like, what is life for if you can't see your grandchildren? So when she designed this, I was like, oh, that is so thoughtful. Plus it's a baby thing. I mean, right now I'm over the baby thing because I made too many baby things, but they're really fun to do, small, and you work them up quickly, and it's great.
But what have you finished during the 10-row challenge?
Oh, okay. So
'Cause it's been going on since what, September
16th.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had to finish a baby dress. That was forever. I never thought I'd be done. Thank goodness they love it. The parents love it. You just never know. Never what's going to go. Then I just finished yesterday a baby sweater. And then I'm almost finished with a baby vest. It's just a lot this year. And I have finished one set of socks for a gentleman, and I'm working on the other pair for his wife. And I started and finished the beautiful Random Ridge shawl.
Oh, yeah. Yep, your little shawl.
I didn't have enough projects going, evidently, so I was, pawing around in my stash, and I found a Mad Ball with Christmas theme, red and blue, and not red and blue. Well, I guess you have a little blue. Red, white, and green.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, oh, I'll just cast this on and see how it goes. And, it was done, in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That actually went up last Wednesday. So if you want to see the beautiful shawl that she made, you can go back and look at
Instagram, Facebook.
the Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really pretty.
It came out really nice. I was a little concerned because I thought, gosh, this is very, very Christmassy. But it's really pretty with that pattern. I really like the pattern. And it was a fun pattern, too. It was really fun.
Yeah, you don't have to think too much, right? Like, you just
Well,
let the yarn sort of tell you what to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I really like that. That is so great. I I think I'm knitting so many socks because I know the pattern by heart. I don't have to drag the pattern around me. But it's so great. A lot of Vicky's Mad Ball patterns are like that. They're, you get into it and they become intuitive, and then they're just fun, and it doesn't matter if you're in the car or if you're watching TV or whatever. It's great.
Yeah,
Love
they're
it.
really fun. It's always challenging when I start a Mad Ball thing, because I'll have a couple other things going, but I start a Mad Ball thing and then everything else just kind of sits.
Yes.
But only for 3 days, because
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with the
Yeah.
Mad Ball thing, and then it's
Then it's
done.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so great.
Then I'm
Yeah.
like, next. What's
It's
the
like-
next Mad Ball
It's-
thing I'm going to make?
Yeah, it's like a little surprise. Every time you change yarn, I'm like, oh, what's going to be next?
Yeah, it's
You know,
coming
so,
next.
So funny. Yeah, knitters. Yeah. I have to now put my blocked items away from Lucas. I mean, yesterday I went to block that little baby sweater, and I got the blockers down, and he got on it right away.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even get the sweater on it
Yeah,
yet.
Chloe too. She likes and
Yeah.
she'll just try to scratch the blocker, so mine look like hell because they have all these little
He hasn't done that yet,
Mm.
but I was going to put, and of course the sweater's wet, and then you put pins. I mean, it can't be comfortable. I don't understand.
I know, she rolls
Yeah.
right over the pins.
She
and
really
I'm always
does. It's like a
terrified that
bulldozer.
she's
It's like-
gonna- It is.
She
I
flattens
just
them all.
don't
Like, when you
understand what that is.
when you see some construction and you see one of those safety cones that someone's run over.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like when Chloe lies on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
We should just try rolling her.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that.
Like dough.
Yeah.
I just don't understand. I mean, and every person I know who has cats, they do that. They lie on the blocked items. It's like, what is the attraction? I don't understand it. But anyway.
Yeah, I saw your question too about how to keep cats off, and I believe I have no advice about that.
So we'll skip right over that question.
I think that is give up. That's my advice.
Well,
give up
well,
and
like-
understand that.
The baby sweater that I did, I only used 2 blockers, so it was small. And so I just stood it up on my dresser. So, he couldn't get to it, although he was eyeing it.
Yeah, some things you can sort of hang. You could
Yeah.
feed the wires through the top
You could
of a shawl.
put it somewhere in a room
Right.
that's closed.
But cats
somewhere
also
like
don't
that.
like closed doors, and
No, they don't.
Like
They
some cats
don't.
can open doors. You remember how Pumpkin could always open our doors?
Yes.
It's just kind of freaky. So,
Yeah.
so my advice is give up.
Give up. Okay. Now I
Lucas
know.
told me to say that.
Yeah, I bet he did.
He said, just tell her. What's your favorite kind of project to knit? Like if you had to choose a single
okay.
project that you could only knit forever.
Oh,
An
my
item.
goodness.
Like a
Oh, my
type?
goodness.
Yeah, like a type.
Well, of course, the caveat is, of course, that I like having a lot of different types of projects.
Right.
So this would not
This
really
is
be
a terrible
good
question.
thing for me.
No.
Right.
But I really love scarves, I have to say. You know that. Because every time you come out with a new scarf pattern, I'm like, I really have to start this. Just because I still feel, even though I've been knitting since I was 4, that I still am not an expert. I still feel that, a scarf is really what I should be doing.
Oh, that's silly. You're
You
a
know?
very good knitter.
Well, but, you just, you have that in your mind, when your mother or your grandmother, whoever taught you how to knit, they were so fast and they did it so beautifully and everything. And of course, I'm probably surpassed my mother at this point, but not in my mind, So, but I love doing a scarf for many reasons. One of them is that I just enjoy the yarn. I just love looking at the yarn and feeling it and,
Scarves
making
are
the
great for
stitches.
that.
And then, it's very meditative. You don't have to worry about counting. Counting is sometimes really
You
hard.
can do a lot of fun stitch patterns.
Yes, exactly. And then
Cables, lace,
Right,
mosaic,
exactly.
anything. Yeah.
so if you've got a plain yarn,
That's a good way out of the question, actually,
Yes.
Ellen. 'Cause you pretty much said, I can still knit anything if I knit scarves.
Yes,
That's good. It's very
right.
clever. I
Yeah.
like that.
You should run for president.
oh my God. I've been, until recently, terrified of doing sweaters. I'm not as terrified anymore.
No.
But they just take longer.
They do. There's like a time vortex with sweaters too, because like I know sort of how fast I knit, and I know how much yardage would be in a big shawl, and sometimes it's the same as a sweater, but for some reason the sweater takes you twice as long.
Right.
And it must just be the thinking or the
I think it's
shaping or the I don't know.
I think it's the shaping and stuff. I'm knitting a sweater now, as you know, that I've been knitting for many years, and it is a cable. It's a fisherman's knit sweater.
It's gorgeous,
and it is it's the beautiful cumulus yarn. I love it. That's another thing I love, but I have to be in total silence. Like Lucas can't even be in the room. I have to have total silence.
He's not
with
silent.
a table. I mean, I have to have a table in front of me. Normally, I knit in a chair, cozy. You know, I have to sit at the table and I have to count the stitches. It's just so stressful. But that's because that's a very complicated pattern. So that's fine. But normally, a sweater, I don't feel so bad about. Now, I'm making that really nice cardigan coat.
Oh yeah.
That's just knit and purl, and it's wonderful. I love it.
What's your favorite thing to make so far, Aja?
Well, I've mostly made rectangles and turned them into other things.
Scarf.
She likes
rectangle,
knitted or crocheted origami.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I think so far, I'm pretty happy with how the leg warmers are turning out. So as long as we don't have any big problems, then I think they should be probably kind of the best thing that's come out so far. But Mooney would probably kill me if I didn't say my favorite thing that I have made is his blanket, which is also just a rectangle. But, you know,
a blanket
but
is a
it's
rectangle.
been covered in cat drool over and over again, so
Lots
it's
of
definitely the
times.
best one.
Yeah.
So gross. So gross.
So funny.
So cute.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say when you were saying that you think that you're not that advanced, that the thing about the levels of knitting is like the only difference is like no fear. Like,
Right.
That,
Exactly.
because like a girl was in today, she's young, she's a pretty new knitter, and she was wearing a color work cowl. It was really pretty. I said, oh, I like your cowl. She said, oh, it's the first thing I knit. Just no fear. So like it's great. Just have no fear, because you know what's the worst that could happen? You can always rip it out and start again.
Right.
All right. So this was a super fun episode. Thank you so much for Ellen.
Thank you
being
for
our
inviting
special
me.
guest.
I've really had fun, of course. Who wouldn't have fun here underneath the Kraken?
Yeah, underneath the Kraken.
Couldn't be any better.
Yeah.
And all we have left is to figure out what these yarns would say.
Mm-hmm.
So, what would yours yarn say, Aja?
My little purpley guy says, I'm berry delicious.
Pretty good.
Very good.
That is the first time that something appropriate has turned up in my head when I found this.
Yeah, mine would
You're on
say,
the
I'll
spot.
see you in spring, because I feel like it's really
Yeah,
springy.
it is a very springy, that light green color. I
Oddly
love that.
appropriate, too.
Yes.
How about you, Ellen? It's time for you to bring it and have the inappropriate one.
Well, I was going to say this is a soft summer day. That was what I was going to say.
We got all the seasons
all the
here.
seasons.
Yeah. Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah.
Look at us. We are so connected.
I know. We got it all together.
Yeah.
All right. So, if you liked the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. See, I said thumbs up this time, not thumbs up.
That's okay. We knew what you meant.
And subscribe to the channel if you want to
And
see
if you'd
more.
like to be a guest speaker, the line forms to the left.
If you want to be notified when a video comes out, just click the little notification bell and it'll tell you when we post. And make sure to check out all the links and stuff like that in the description.
Yep.
Yay!
Thanks for watching, guys.
Have a
Thank
good
you,
week.
Ellen.
Thank you.
Yay!
Bye.
Bye.